Hey, everybody, and welcome to another special episode of Phil and the Mic. I am your host, Aaron Michael. Unfortunately, Phil is not with me today, but this is just kind of an introduction. We're so excited that baseball has finally come back. We are so excited. People are starting to play again. I've worn the jersey of my favorite all-time baseball player, Mr. Fred Lynn. Hopefully you can see that. Really excited to be wearing this today because I'm so excited that baseball is back. But as a special treat to everybody, we have continued in our series of talking to former athletes, and we've got a very special one today. It's Mr. John D'Acquisto, who many of you may or may not have heard of, but he was actually a #1 draft pick back in 1970, and we're going to learn a little bit about his life, his growing up as a superstar, a two-sport athlete that actually had more scholarship offers to play football than baseball, but he made it to the majors, pitched for a while, so obviously he made a good choice. Fascinating story, lots of great things. We talk about his experiences with Hank Aaron, with Willie Mays, pitching to some all-time greats, some great experiences. Even the day that he had his one and only home run that he hit, which we know nowadays, with there being only designated hitters, pitchers aren't even going to be hitting anymore. So it's fascinating to hear all that. So it's one of the few times where we actually recorded the episode prior to actually launching it out there. We actually did this the other day, so I'm going to be piecing it together. But I hope everybody enjoys it. We'll be coming back in a few days with our regularly scheduled episode. And so here we go. Hope everybody enjoys it. Thanks so much, and appreciate the support. Hey, everybody, Phil and the Mic. We are so excited to have with us former Major League Baseball player. Let me just give you a little background on our guest today. Played with the Giants, the Cardinals, the Padres, the Expos, the Angels, the Athletics, 10 seasons in the majors, 34 wins, 15 saves, 600 strikeouts, 266 games, 92 starts. Grew up in San Diego as a two-sport athlete, not just one, two-sport athlete. Senior year, I know you threw multiple no-hitters, many scholarship offers, drafted in the first round, pick number 17 in 1970, the 1974 Sporting News NL Rookie of the Pitcher of the Year and Major League Rookie Pitcher of the Year from Topps, PhD in exercise science and physiology, author of a book, Fastball John, and a licensed MLB artist. My God, I think I could go on all day. Mr. John D'Acquisto. John, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Really,
great
really
intro.
Excited. Yeah, really excited. I mean,
you didn't miss anything, right, Darren. My God.
You know what? I'll bet you I did. I'll bet you there's things that I missed.
I don't think so.
but pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I mean, when you look back over all of it, what comes to mind? Like what is a word that you would use to just describe your experience, your whole life experiences with baseball?
Walter Mitty. That's about the way I look at it. You know, I've done everything. I've tried everything, done everything. You know, from being a baseball player to a crane operator, for crying out loud. I mean, wow. You know, I had a lot of things go on in my life that put me in that position. And, you know, I wanted to do things to better myself and always to be prepared, you know, in case something did happen to me if I got hurt. So I was a banker when I had elbow surgery in the big leagues. I worked for Bank of America, and I worked for them for 9 years. So I learned a lot of management skills and training through that. And later on, it's crazy. You know, I just was involved in different things just for curiosity, one reason, and also to exist, you know, to live, to make money.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. And I think a lot of people didn't adequately prepare. I don't see as much of it with baseball, but maybe a lot of football players, you hear about that, where guys have just one skill and they just think that it's, you know, hey, I play, nothing's going to happen, it's going to go on forever. So to have the foresight to actually see, hey, you know what, maybe I should actually think about something else, because baseball is not forever.
Well,
you know?
exactly. Nowadays, I was involved in a group. This lovely lady, PhD from Arizona State, got a hold of me and started to do a program, which was enlightening players about their future, also how to prep and deal with the media when they're involved in the game, how to be personable, how to market yourself, network yourself. I thought that was a great program, and then she ups and dies. And Dr. Lynn she was a special lady, and she had the insight to that to help these players. And we were working with the Minnesota Twins. We were working with them. I personally got to be involved with that group, and at least we got to touch, and those kids are on the big leagues now. And every time I see them, they go, just want to thank you again for giving me the insight. And it really helped out. And, it's a lot of times you get guys that aren't coming from college, that they're coming from high school.
Yep.
And they're in a fishbowl existence. And when they get into the big leagues, it's all of a sudden they're still in that fishbowl existence, and they're frightened.
Yeah.
They can play baseball, but after that, it's up for grabs, and it's mind-boggling for them.
Yeah.
So,
I can. And the fact that you went through that, which I definitely want to talk about. When did you start playing baseball? I mean, I guess you excelled in football and baseball. I mean, were you doing both of these simultaneously?
Yes, I was. I started playing baseball. Well, I have an older brother. Okay, my brother Fred, and my dad was coaching Little League, and my brother was on that team, and I was a bat boy. Okay. I mean, it just fit. I started playing when I was 8.
Okay.
So in minors. Well, that didn't last all year. I went right to the majors at 8. Because they put me in right field, and I threw the ball over the backstop all the way into the back canyon. And then that's when the coach said, "Hey, have you thought about pitching?" And I said, no, I haven't thought about anything.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
So they put me on the mound. From there, it was history.
So you actually pitched from that young of an age.
I was playing football too.
Wow.
I was playing football.
Interesting.
So, yeah, because I went to St. Patrick's parochial school, and they had flag football at the time. So it was flag, it wasn't tackle. But then they came up with Pop Warner.
Right.
So then I started playing Pop Warner, and then I started figuring out how strong I was. And I was able to do really well. I played quarterback at first, and then I started getting bigger, and they decided to put me at tight end. And so from that, I started developing into a football player, and it went on from there. So I was playing double all the time. So I was a year-round athlete because we had summer ball, and then we had football. And then after football, we had winter ball, which fell into the season in high school. So year-round, I was playing one sport or the other.
The beauties of living in California, right? And enjoying
that
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't rain much.
Yeah.
And when it does, it really shuts it down. Because it'll rain for like 45 days straight,
Right.
So as you think about your early stages of playing baseball, right, as a kid playing in that, in that sweet spot of just 10, 11, 12, obviously you knew you were better than most kids probably from a young age, just by your story when you were 8. When did you have like an aha moment, or a moment where you said, wow, I do this significantly better. This could actually be something that I pursue?
Yes. I was 10. My mom was pregnant with my sister, and she had to go to the hospital. She was going to have a baby. Okay. So she called me over at the dugout. I was pitching in the game and, and hitting, and no DHs then. So she called me over. She says, "Johnny, I got to go to the hospital. We're going to have the baby, and Aunt Jenny will take you home." And I said, "Okay, fine. No problem." So my dad was gone. My mom was gone. I said, okay, Mom, I'm going to throw a no-hitter because I had a no-hitter going at the time. I said, I'm going to finish this game, throw a no-hitter for you. I'm going to hit a home run for you. She says, okay, yeah, fine. She pats me on the head and I go back to play. I hit a ball over the fence in Little League field. It went over the fence into the Pony League field and bounced and hit the pitcher on the Pony League field. It was about 400 feet. I finished the game with the no-hitter. And when I came home, they give you a certificate back then. They gave you a certificate that says no-hitter, Little League, Mike Morrow, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I brought that home. I said, look, Mom, I told you I'd do it. And I hit a home run for you, you know, and it was like, you know, where's the excitement? It was 3 days later when she came home, you know, it's like evening Christmas. I know, I still did it, you know. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
But so
but
you
that
know,
was the aha moment because
wow.
I called my shot. And then when I saw, do you guys remember Bob O'Regan for the Mets? He was a scout by chance.
The name sounds familiar. I'm a Mets fan.
Yeah, he was
so
one of the older
familiar.
scouts. Yeah,
Okay.
in San Diego. He was probably handled most of Southern California. Well, he was standing there talking to my dad. This is the following week. He was talking to my dad and he handed him a card. And he was telling my dad to fill out the card and because they're going to start to follow me. This is at 10.
Oh my gosh.
10 years old.
Wow.
And I asked my dad, I said, Pop, I said, who's that man? He didn't tell me. He wouldn't tell me. He, you know, he wanted to keep all that away from me and just let me have fun and be a kid, you know?
Yeah.
He says, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a man I know. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, okay. Later on, I saw the man again as I got into high school. And at the Lions tournament in San Diego, he was there. And I got MVP of the Lions tournament. He was there. The next year, MVP again. So, you know, it's like, and I beat Terry Forrester in a game. And so Terry and I battled each other for 4 years in school. Wow. He went to Santana and I went to St. Augustine, and we always battled each other every year. So we were the two main honchos going after each other. It was really cool to be able to play against him and another guy named Kyle Hypes, who the Giants drafted in the third round. And but on the other end of the spectrum, football was becoming very good. Yeah. So I was getting a lot of offers. I had 144 offers to play football. I had more offers to play football than I did baseball. Wow. I mean, Notre Dame, USC, UC Berkeley. Berkeley had me enrolled in school. That's how much they wanted me to go play football.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it was like, what the hell's this? You know, I'm looking at here's all my classes, you know, because they had computer cards at the time, you know, with all the, just punch out your holes, tell us what you want to take. You know, I'm going, oh my God. I was just like overwhelmed. Yeah. So, you know, it was tough, you know, growing up, but I was having fun thanks to my mom and dad who kept everything away from me. And, you know, and there were times when some of the scouts would come up to me and ask me a question like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to play professional baseball? And I'd go, yeah, sure. Why not?
Of course.
And then another college coach or college scout would come up and say, are you thinking about going to school? You know, and I go, well, yeah, I'd really like to go to school. Well, I wasn't that dumb, you know, because I knew if I got school, I could get more money. Yep. So I played that back and forth, and I did pretty good. So, you know. So what is
it? I'm curious. What made you choose to pursue baseball rather than football?
Well, Duke Snyder told me when I was in Montreal, he interviewed me. He told me, he says, you know, you were a better football player than you were a baseball player. I said, well, thanks a lot, Lumpy. You know, and he goes, no, I'm serious. I used to come watch you play. I said, what? No kidding. Yeah, I used to come from Fallbrook and watch you play football. Every week that you played, I came to watch you play.
Wow.
And I said, God, I'm honored. My God.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah, really. And then here's the kicker. Sid Gilman, my dad worked for Anthony's Fish Grottos. And so Sid used to go eat at the Star of the Sea Room where my dad was.
Okay.
And he told my dad, he says, if John chooses football and goes to school and plays for USC, because that's where I signed my letter of intent to play for John McKay and Rod Dato.
Okay.
He says, when he's done playing at college, he says, I'll sign him to play for the Chargers. He says, I want him to be an outside linebacker.
Wow.
That was the icing on the cake.
Seriously?
And yeah. And I just went, oh my God, I have a choice to make.
Yeah, seriously. That's a good choice. A good choice.
It's a good choice. But I chose baseball because they offered me a life. They offered me a financial security that was quite substantial. And they offered me college. And that's how I was able to go back to school. They paid for everything.
So going back that far, was there health considerations? I mean, I know we know a lot more than we did, today. Was there any of that going on where like the physical wear and tear was even cognizant on your mind at that age versus baseball, which obviously less violent of a sport?
Well, here's one of the kickers why I went to baseball too. I have a spinal scoliosis. And so my doctor told me, which was H. Paul Bauer, the team physician for the Padres, he told me if you get popped in the back good one time, you're going to be paralyzed the rest of your life.
Oh, geez.
And I said, well, that kind of makes my decision go to baseball. I'd rather take that chance than get hit in the back once, because with the big animals that they have playing, I mean, these guys were huge. When I went to SC, I stood next to Charles Robinson. Guy was a condominium with a head on his shoulders. He was so big, and I'm going, wow, this guy's like 6'6".
Yeah.
Unbelievable size and quickness.
On a baseball field, you were one of the biggest guys. On a football field, it kind of
very much, yeah.
That's right.
It puts it in perspective. You're like, wait, this ain't the baseball field anymore.
Yeah, Mama didn't send me to school just to eat my lunch,
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, my God, this is amazing. But I would have played with Rick Bertelson, Freddie Lynn, Jim Barr, all those guys, going to school, playing in those time frames. And I ended up playing with them anyway, when I signed with the Giants and Angels. Yeah. So, we all popped up again. But, it was an easy decision to make, although I loved playing football. Oh man, I loved playing football. It was a lot of fun. I loved to hit. I was a good defensive player, but I was also an offensive guard because I was quick and I could run. And so I was a pulling guard, and to get in front of the running backs that we had on our high school team, they were all running 9.500s.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we had they were like all CIF, all Americans, and they all went off to play pro ball.
Wow.
So we had pretty good football team. We only lost like 3 games in the whole time I was there at Saints. We had quite a dynasty going there, and Coach D. Tommaso, he was we called him Little Vince Lombardi. So cracking clipboards over your head if you didn't do things right. I mean, it's just absolutely hilarious. But it was great memories.
So what was your best memory in high school baseball? What was I know you played against some great competition. What would you say was like the standout memory?
I played a game against Morris High School, which is an inner city school. And I pitched in the first game. It was kind of like, it was an extra inning game, 1-0. And then it tied up. So we went all the way into where it was dark. So they had to cancel the game. So the following week, when we came in, because you play Tuesdays and Fridays. So the following set, when we went to go play them at their park, we had a doubleheader, finished the first game, and then play a second game. So the first game, I happened to be leading off. And I remember the pitcher, his name was Mike Hawks. He was a left-hander, good pitcher, had good curveball. And he starts me off with the curveball. I let it go. And I just sat there waiting for his fastball, and he threw it, and I knocked it to deep center off the back wall of the school. And game over, right? That was it. Because we were actually the home team in that game. So it's a walk-off. Then I go back out to start the next game. One hit shutout all the way to the end. That was it. Won both games because I was still pitcher of record from the first game. Oh my God. And I won that game too. So it's like, go figure. Yeah. Oh, that was my most favorite fond memory right there. That's and also throwing the 3 no-hitters against the same team, Patrick Henry High School, 3 consecutive no-hitters. And I did my last no-hitter when Carl Hubble was coming down from the Giants to watch me pitch.
No way. Wow.
Yes, he was in back because we had cages. You know, they had the cages. Yeah. He was standing back there. Here's this man with the fedora on and dark glasses and a pipe holding it like this. And I'm going, well, it's with his left hand. And he's holding it like this, you know, and I threw a ball that hit the screen and stuck in the screen. And I see this guy trying to knock the ball out with his pipe, you know, at the back end of his pipe. And my coach walked over. He says, "Can I help you?" My coach always carried a fungo bat.
Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah, I want that ball." He goes, "Well, who? He goes, "Who the hell are you?" He goes, "I'm Carl Hubble." He goes, "The king?" My coach about fell. He goes, "Yeah, King Carl." He goes, "I'll get it for you." He took the fungo, bop, and it had a chain link mark on it, you know, where the ball stuck. He gave it to Hub, right? So after the game, I finished the no-hitter. After the game, he comes up and introduces himself to mom and dad, you know, all the fancy stuff. He hands me the ball. He says, "I want you to sign it right in that mark where the chain link is. Say to Carl Hubble, best wishes, John D'Acquisto, no-hitter." He says, "I need proof of how hard you can throw."
Wow.
He said, here's my proof. Mm-hmm. So I did. I signed it for him, gave him the ball. He gives me a big hug. He says, "We're going to draft you in the first round." And I said, "Yeah, I hope you do, but you're down the list a ways. But, you know, I'd love to play for the Giants. Half of my family's up in San Francisco, and half of my family was in San Diego. And the Padres were looking to draft me on the second round when they took Mike Ivy. They were going to pick me up in the second round, and then I could have played there. But I ended up playing there anyway."
Yeah.
So as the story goes, Hub goes back. They draft me in the first round.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. So did you, awesome. Leading into the draft, you kind of had expectations you were going to go early?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't.
A lot of teams were taking me for physicals.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
Atlanta took me to a physical. The Cubbies took me to a physical. Padres took me to a physical. Giants took me to physical. You know, I mean, I knew it was getting serious.
Yeah.
Because when they start doing that, you know, things are getting hot.
And at that point, you're sitting on your offers in college still, right? But you're leaning towards going pro and playing baseball, right? Nobody knows that for sure because you're going to leverage it in terms of your signing bonus, right? Is that kind of how that went down? So you're kind of keeping it close to the vest a little bit, and then.
Yeah, but here was the situation. I didn't know that the Giants were in financial straits at the time in the 70s. Horace Stoneham they weren't drawn very well, even though they won the Western Division in 1970. They weren't drawing very well. And the interest in San Francisco and Candlestick Park, with it being so cold, you know, it was just a bad place to go see a game, but yet the people still showed, you know, but they started not drawing well. And they started losing the big marquee players like Mays and McCovey and all this, and Perry, you know, the guys that were there in Marichal. And they were still there when I got there, but you could see the age was starting to take over and that the interest was beginning to be lost. So the new generation of player was coming in, like me and other players that we had, good hard throwing pitchers and, power hitting speedsters like Gary Maddox and Matthews and guys like that were starting to come out, with Bobby Bonds being the leader now with Mays gone.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that this was going to happen, that it was tough to negotiate my contract with them because they didn't have the money that they gave Garibaldi, in the prior times of bonus babies that they had.
Yeah. Yeah.
So dealing with George Genovese was kind of tough. So my mom says, get the hell out of here and go to Hawaii. And that's why I got Hawaii in the background, because the Hawaii is what kind of brought me back into baseball, because I went to Hawaii for my graduation gift. My mom says, go have some fun. Get away from these guys. I'll deal with them. My mom was my agent. You talk about a tough Sicilian mama. Oh my God, George said, I dealt with a lot of people. She was the toughest.
Wow.
She got me what I wanted.
That's
Wow.
great.
Wow.
That's
I was
fantastic.
either going to Anchorage, Alaska to go play with the Gold Panners for Rod Dedeaux, or I was going to go to Great Falls, Montana and go play for the Giants.
Right. So,
and it was in the North-South All-Star game in California at Anaheim Stadium where I made that decision. And they gave me they brought the contract right there. They said, is this what you want? I go, oh yeah, that's it. College, lots of money. I'm good to go. Signed it right there.
That's awesome.
I was gone.
So you signed it. How soon after you signed it were you sent up to the Rookie Ball League?
1 week.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
okay. July 4th was when I signed. So
wow.
I left on July 4th. I was gone.
So I'm always fascinated by the minor league experience, and it's been made very well spoken about of late, how in today's game, how they fought for better conditions and more money, and you can go both ways with that. I understand. I feel like I understand both sides of that coin, but you spent 3 years in the minors, right? Basically thereabouts. But what is the experience as you're 18, right? And you're going from a big city, you're in the San Francisco area, right? And now you're going to Montana. I mean, my God. And you're not talking about Montana in 2022 here. You're talking about Montana.
We're not talking Bozeman.
Right.
We're not talking Bozeman.
You're not talking about the Montana that Phil Jackson fell in love with.
No. We're talking about Great Falls with one main street. Okay.
Oh,
and cruising the street was the biggest thing to do. Okay. So I got there and I went, oh my God, what did I do? It was like, it just hit me. I was homesick immediately. Oh, I'm going back home. I'm going to get my surfboard, go surfing. I'll go play football for USC because I still could.
Yeah.
I still had that eligibility, and so I was like, whoa, here it goes. And so I had some trouble in the beginnings, because of all this stuff going on in my head. And Harvey Kep was my manager. Great man. He was an educator in Half Moon Bay. He was a teacher. And he takes me to the side and he says, hey, son, I just want to tell you, if you don't start pitching your ass off, Giants are going to release you.
Already?
They want to, yeah.
Wow.
This is how he thought maybe he could prod me, I guess. I don't know. He says, we're not satisfied, that you're a number one pick. So we want you to step it up a little bit or we're going to let you go.
Wow.
I said, okay. So we went to Caldwell, Idaho to play a game against the Cubs. So I figured I'd throw a no-hitter. I think that stepped it up a little bit. So I did. I went out and threw a no-hitter, and Harvey walked up to me and says, well, I said step it up. I didn't say knock it to the moon. It's like, and then all of a sudden when I did that, I'm getting interviewed by Sporting News and, the local papers, pictures being taken. you know, and I'm going, oh, so this is what it's all about. Oh, okay, got it. But then he called me in the office. He says, well, that little adventure that you did, throwing a no-hitter and then winning your next games, he says that took you, you're going to instructional league in Phoenix with the big club. All the big players, all the number one picks are going there. So I'm 18. Okay. I go there, did really well, didn't give up any runs. We'd go 3 innings apiece. They'd go 3, 3, and 3. And then you rotate, you know, pretty neat. Got to wear a big league uniform, big league everything, you know. I was with Bobby Bonds, Gary Matthews, Dave Kingman, Randy Moffett. You know, I got to meet the guys I was going to be playing with.
Yep.
And fell in love with the game. This is what it's all about. This is where I'm going to be. And that gave me the incentive to push. So the next year, I go to Decatur. Great Falls was better than Decatur. You know, Decatur, Illinois is southern tip of Illinois, is soybean capital of the world.
Yep.
And it's all farmland. Great fishing, great bass fishing. Oh my God, it's the best bass fishing I've ever done. Big bass like this. I mean, it was unbelievable. So I go there, and Frank Funk is now my manager, who still thinks he can play. He can still throw. You know, nice guy, great guy, very aggressive, taught you how to be aggressive, how to pitch. Throw inside 0-2. If you don't throw, he told me, if you don't throw inside on 0-2, I'm fining you. I said, well, I don't have anything to be fined for. You know, what do I make? $500 a month? Oh, excuse me, I got a raise of $50, $550. Oh, big deal, whoopee. He starts laughing. He says, I'm still fining you $1. I said, okay, all right, I'm on. So I get the message. Yeah, throw 0-2, throw inside, knock him down. Okay, all right. So I end up striking out 244 guys. Break the record. Do all this all-star stuff with Gossage and, you know, Goose and I pitching this all-star game together. I get the win. Goose pitches well. We go out afterwards and have some beers, you know. We're having fun. And then things started to happen. When I popped 244 guys down, now the eyes started opening up, you know, and they started to realize, yeah, now he's starting to come to play. That year, I was with the big club at 19.
Wow.
Okay, in spring training. And that's where I got to start the game against the Cubs in spring training in Scottsdale, the first game of the season for spring training. And number 24 was in center field. I thought that was, you want to talk about a great moment? That was a great moment. Because I looked out there and his back was to me and I saw 24 and man, I started getting the shakes and chills.
I'm sure.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm sure. I mean, what is that like though? You're 19 years old.
Crazy.
You're invited to spring training. You come in there, you walk into the locker room. What is going through your mind at that point? I mean, you're like, oh my God, you know, I'm 19 friggin' years old. There's Willie Mays. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah. He was like, when I walked in, I went through the training room, the back part of the clubhouse in Casa Grande, because we started in Casa Grande and then went to Phoenix, Muni. So I walk in and Mike Murphy, the greatest clubhouse attendant, manager, best friend, good guy, meets me at the door. I walk through, I got my bag, walk through, he goes, that's your 2 lockers right there at the very far corner, up against the wall. I said, okay, so I got 2 lockers. I go, wow, that's cool. 2 lockers. What? I said, Mike, why do I need 2 lockers? He says, your uniform goes in one and all the crap you're going to get, your glove contract, your shoe contract, your back contract, all that stuff goes in this locker.
Oh my
So I
God.
Oh, because they weren't that big. They were little small, tiny things, you know?
Yeah.
So, and he goes, and you see all these lockers here? And I said, yeah. He says, those belong to that gentleman right there. And that gentleman me. Oh my God. The great Willie Mays, shirt off, cut up, you know, 6-pack. No, he had a 12-pack. Arms, I mean, just a specimen. He takes me over to Mays and he goes, hey, Willie, this is our new #1 pick. This is John D'Acquisto. Oh, hey, kid, I heard about you. Interesting. He says, I hear you throw pretty hard. He says, I'll have to test it out. I said, yes, sir. He says, don't call me sir. I said, okay, Mr. Mays. Don't call me Mr. Mays either. I said, well, what the hell am I supposed to call you then? He goes, call me Willie. We're teammates now. And I went, holy shit.
You're like, there's no way. There's no way.
Are you kidding me? I said, yes, Willie. It's nice to know you. Here's a box of golf balls. You play golf? I go, yeah, sure I play golf. There's my golf clubs right there. He goes, good. Play with these. I open them up and it says Willie Mays on the golf balls. Yeah, like I'm gonna go play with these golf balls. He says, don't worry about it. I got plenty. Don't worry.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
That's hysterical.
I'm going, Jiminy Christmas.
You know
what am I supposed to do?
One of the best things, and
gosh.
we've had a few chances to talk to some major leaguers, and I to a man, it feels like the best players also seem to be some of the most gracious, nice guys that endeared themselves to the locker room, and you know it's great to hear that, but we've heard that from time to time, and it's nice to hear that about Willie, because you don't know for sure, right? You don't get the inside scoop. You do hear the stories of guys that aren't.
Yeah, he was kind of, standoffish as he got older.
Yeah.
He kind of got tired about signing the autographs, so he would sneak out in different places. And he told me after our first workout, when he got into the cage and I fired a few BBs past him, he says, he walked out to me and he says, hey, kid, what's this say? I said, it says Giants. He goes, good. What's that say on your chest? Giants. He goes, we're teammates, remember? And I said, get your ass back in the box. He looked at me like, whoa, this kid got spunk. And Charlie Fox is the manager. He's sitting in the back. He takes his hat off and throws it on the ground. He says, can you believe this kid? Oh my God. He just told me to get the fuck back in there. We got shit. Oh yeah. Okay. Excuse me. I didn't mean to pop off, but.
Oh my God. That's hysterical.
Okay. And so Mays goes, oh, I like you. I like you. You got spunk. So he goes back in there, misses 3 more, throws his bat down and walks out. Bonds then grabs him, gets in and comes in, tries to hit me too. Didn't work. Charlie goes, that's enough, kid. You're done.
Oh
no one can hit you.
Don't aggravate the stars.
Yeah, don't have.
So how fast were you throwing at that point? I mean, were you
probably
clocked?
100?
You're throwing about 100?
Yeah, probably 100. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew because what I was seeing, I would let the ball go and it would be at the catcher.
Yeah.
Okay. I watch other guys pitch and it just wasn't the same. It was like mine you couldn't see. It was like a stream of milk. And the guys were telling me, the hitters were telling me, man, we never seen anything like this. This is very rare. And it's a heavy ball, not a light ball. A lot of guys that throw a ball, they get the back spin rotation and it's a light ball. Mine was heavy. I broke bats because I choked it back in my hand.
Yeah.
And that allowed me to get a double break on my ball at 100. Good luck. Try hitting that. And I've always contested at this juncture of my career. If I did not get hurt, I probably would have been a 20+ game winner multiple years. But because I blew my arm out, up back to the bullpen, So, but that's the price you pay, you know.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a good segue too. I mean, I know Darren and I were talking about it when we were looking over your career. I mean, you threw a ton of innings in the minors. And I know they didn't, the old load management and all the different terminologies that's used today,
no,
and the babying
Phil,
of
it ain't
arms.
happening.
Not back then. I mean, do you look back at it and say you were overused very early in your career?
Well,
particularly in the minors, right? There was no ramping up innings. You just threw.
Yeah.
I mean, you just threw a ton.
No, I'll tell you a couple stories. But answer to your question, yes, I was overused.
Yeah.
I threw 15,353 pitches according to the book that they had on me in 3 years before I got to the big leagues. I threw over 200 innings in my second, third year. That's Decatur and Fresno. 244 strikeouts, 245 strikeouts. And then my third year in Phoenix was another 187 strikeouts and another 212 innings pitched. Plus, I went to the big leagues and add that another 29 strikeouts to that, put me over 200 strikeouts for the third consecutive year. Okay. And I threw a no-hitter in Phoenix. And at that particular point, you're talking 200, 200, 200. And then my sophomore year, which was actually my full rookie year, I threw another 200 innings, 4 years in a row.
Yeah.
Was I overused? You better freaking believe it. Yeah. Definitely overused.
It's crazy. I wonder, what do you think the impact was on your career? I mean, like Phil had mentioned, I mean, nowadays, I mean, guys in their minors, you'll see a guy, we only want to let him pitch 80 innings this entire season or 100 innings or whatever. How do you think that affected your career? I mean, here you are, 19, 20, 21, 22, pitching over 800 innings in 4 seasons. I mean, what kind of effect did that have on your arm?
And did you feel it in real time? Like, did you feel worn down each year that went by where you're like, wait a second, this doesn't feel right? Or it was like, you're too big and strong?
Because I was big and strong, and I was in very good condition. I'll tell you one story. Quad Cities, Moline, against the Angels team. I pitched in a game for 16 innings, had a 1-0 lead. They tied it 1-1, and I lost it on an error by Larry Milbourne. Larry Milbourne is playing second base.
Yep.
He booted the ball. They scored the run, walk-off. I was so pissed that I lost it. So the next week, my next rotation comes up. I go 14 innings. And I win 1-0.
Wow.
You talking, there's 30 innings in 2 games.
High leverage, high stress innings.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't, a piece of cake, 7-0 game. It was a 1-zip game. And I'm going up against, one of the better pitchers, like Glenn Abbott, who was in Burlington.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was bound and determined to beat me just as bad as I was bound and determined to beat him. So, did it feel like it was wearing and tearing on me? No, it felt good.
At the time,
yeah. That's a lot of throwing though. That is my God.
And then you wonder why I had the second Tommy John surgery. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what happened.
I mean, 16 innings. How many pitches are you throwing in that game?
Oh God, I think it was, close to 300, over 300.
There was no pitch count. I mean, nobody even contemplated.
No one had it. Nobody had clickers.
Nobody had a clicker. And if they did, they'd have stopped clicking. It wouldn't have mattered.
It's unbelievable.
It was a different world.
We're not doing anything.
I always wonder this, when you watch, the game today, right? And there's the evolution of baseball every 10, 15 years, they raised the mound, they lowered the mound, they want more hitting, they want more this, it ebbs and flows and, whatever puts butts in the seats. I understand it's a business at the end of the day. So there's a lot of factors, but specifically as a pitcher, when you look at pitchers of today, now everybody's 6'5", 230, right? Like they're all big mountain of men out there. You don't see too many Marcus Stromans, although there's a few smaller guys. What do you think of the way they really look at pitchers today? I mean, what is your take on the game today, as specifically as it relates to pitching?
They don't train hard enough. That's the biggest thing I see. I've only seen maybe one pitcher do foul line to foul lines. And guess who it was? A reliever, a closer, Kenley Jansen.
No kidding.
And I went up to Kenley and I said, "Hey, Kenley, how come you still do foul line to foul lines? I know you're a little old school, but how come you still do it?" Because it's the only way you're going to maintain your career and keep your longevity. Answer? Good answer. Very good answer. I'm an exercise physiologist. I was looking for that answer. He gave it to me. Does anybody else know? They ride bikes. They do elliptic glide. It's come on, guys. Yeah, you can get something out of it, but it's asymmetrical training. It's like Nautilus. It trains in this direction, asymmetrical. So you're only training these muscles. You don't train your whole body.
Yeah.
To be a pitcher, you need to train your whole body. You need to train your core muscles, your calves, your hamstrings, your quads, abs, core, the biggest part, the core, your glutes, gluteus maximus. You have to train and get those into taking the stresses that you're going to be doing as a pitcher.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to get hurt. That's why there's a lot of guys getting hurt today, because they're going with these powerlifting. Okay, power. What's wrong with powerlifting? I'll tell you right now, from my education standpoint, it takes away the flexibility of a pitcher's arm. You're bulking up with muscles, and what happens to the ulnar collateral ligament?
Yep. It's a ticking time bomb. Yep.
When you're throwing, when you're lifting, you're throwing, you're lifting. Snap.
Yep.
Blows out. Where's it going to blow out? At the elbow. Or it's going to blow out in the middle of the forearm. In the radial brachialis is shot. You are gone. You cannot sit there and train a pitcher to do a football player's workout.
Yep.
You cannot train an outfielder to do a football player's workout. Nor can you any position player, so to speak. The only player that you could possibly train to do a football player's workout is a catcher.
Yep.
Because he's the one that's going to take the most beating, when guys try to score and then throwing the ball down. But you leave his arm alone. You work there, do not touch the arm, make him throw to get that, because you'll damage the arm.
Yep.
How many times do we see guys in right field catch a ball and it short hops the cutoff man because they got no arm?
Yeah.
We see it all the time.
Yeah.
How many
muscle
guys
bound? They're all muscle bound, like you said.
They're all
muscle bound guys.
Yeah.
They're out on the DL all the time with
Absolutely,
oblique
Phil.
strains and all the rest of it.
Oblique, hamstrings, quad tear, groin tear. Why? Too tight, too muscle bound.
Yep.
Okay. You lose a lot of quality of a player. Baseball is not a muscle bound game. It is a game where it's more of an isometric type training type regiment that you do. Isometrics are within the body. You build your strength within your body. You're already strong. Just you got to firm it and tone it. And then you want to do a lot of running because that'll give you longevity. It gives you that extra push that you need when you're dragging your butt in the ninth inning. You need that little extra. That's when you reach for it, and you have it. Yeah. And I just think the training methodologies are just so far apart.
Which is crazy with all the advanced technology and everything that's in there. It's crazy. When you think about baseball, it's really more, you think about like tennis, right? You're serving, you got a quick twitch move here, and then you're frozen again. And it's like they build this muscle, especially if you're in the Northeast, you're in the cold half the season. That's not, they're not built for what they're doing, right?
That's
like,
right.
No,
it's crazy.
You hit the nail on the head, Phil. You hit the nail on the head. They're not trained accordingly to the positions that they play.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
They're not. Hey, I want to train PT boats, fast, quick, and powerful, not battleships, slow, sluggish, but strong.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Screw that. Give me something quick and fast.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're using. This long toss, I'll give you an example. Okay? Long toss. Two things occur when you do long toss. As you start stretching out from 120 feet, you got to start raising your shoulder to arc the ball, right? Unless you got a freaking bazooka. All right? All of a sudden you're doing this. What's changing? Your mechanics. Your mechanics are starting to change. You alter your windup. You might be doing your windup doing this. Go 120 feet, no more. Why you got to go all the way back to the wall? Who are you trying to impress? All you're doing is stretching out your arm. And then when you get back on the mound, you're going to shorten your arm.
Yep.
Right? Then you get hurt. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. Why haven't they figured it out? Where are they getting this bad information? Is this what's coming out of the colleges? I bet it is.
Yeah.
Is this what Major League Baseball wants? I bet it is. Because somebody said you got to make them strong. They won't break. There's more injuries in today's game than there has been in the past.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
Well, listen,
It's
the team that wins it all, or the teams that end up making the playoffs, it's like a survival of how deep into your 40 man did you need to go? These teams are falling apart all year long.
That's right.
I mean, any fan, you're missing half these guys all year. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's like a revolving door. Oh, who's coming? One guy does bad in a game. They don't give him a chance to redeem himself. And here comes another guy from AAA.
Yep.
It's like, okay, who are you? It's like, oh, then he does well. He stays for a while. And when he screws up, he goes back to Reno. Or wherever he's going to go to AAA.
Yep.
And it was like a revolving door.
Yep.
And a new face. I mean, the clubhouse guys are sewing more names on the back of jerseys than Carter's Got Pills. You would think they were selling them up top,
Well, and as a fan, and we always talk about this, and you lived through this, right? And maybe you got a little bit abused with your arm with what they did, but there was a sense of pride in finishing what you started as a starting pitcher, right? Like you had to rip the ball out of somebody's hand to get them out of a game. And now what drives me crazy as a fan of baseball for 40 years is the idea that even aces are very content with 105 pitches, 7 innings. Here's the ball, coach.
Yep,
that's right.
I know.
Good to help. Good to get out of here. And then you leave it in the hands of an inferior bullpen. And now I know these guys throw gas. These back end bullpen arms all throw really hard. But it's just like, and it's not their fault. This is what they came up through, right?
That's what they came up with.
There's no mentality of a complete game meaning anything. Nobody does it. My favorite pitcher is Jacob deGrom. I'm a Met fan. I love him. My kids, we're all big fans. But he's a 7-inning 105. See you later, boss. 13 Ks, 7 innings. You leave with your jaw dropped. But at the end of the day,
but
and then he loses.
Cy Young with an 11-10 record.
Right. He needs 6 more outs to get a win. I mean, he still needs some help, a decent amount of help, and it drives me nuts.
I know.
And I just wonder what you think when you see that.
Well, okay. Fresno, 17-6, 19 complete games. Phoenix, 16-12, 17 complete games. I finished what I started.
Yeah.
In my full year, I had 9 complete games. My full year. I believe that's what it is. And it's like when Charlie used to come out to the mound in my first year when I was a starter, he would say, "Give me the ball." I said, "Get off my mound." Okay, I'm like, I was like Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer, he's the best. You go back. Go back to the dugout. This is my game. You don't want to take a ball away from Max Scherzer. He wants to pitch all the way.
Yeah, he does.
And Justin Verlander used to be that way.
Yeah.
But he got hurt. So we'll see how much that's going to last. And, but it's like, if you're a starter, don't be satisfied with 3 or 4 innings or 5 innings of work. Somebody said, "Oh, that was a quality outing." I said, "Yeah, what was so quality about going 4 innings?" Well, I did well. Yeah, but you didn't get the win.
Yeah.
And also, so what are we going to flip you around on the backside and put those 4 innings on the backside so you could be called a reliever? Why don't you go to the freaking bullpen?
Yeah.
Well,
you also left your team needing 15 outs to get through the game, so you're taxing the hell out of your bullpen too every day.
Exactly. And these poor guys are getting beat to shit. Yeah. Excuse my French.
No, it's true. It's true.
No,
it's true.
It is.
Let me.
I just shake my head.
It's crazy. It's crazy the way the game is played. I want to just go back for a little bit about your career. I made a list of some of the guys that you struck out in your career. Okay, and this is just it's fun. It's probably going to bring back a lot of interesting thoughts. But Willie McCovey, Steve Garvey, Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, Tony Perez, Johnny Bench, Billy Williams, Mike Schmidt, Willie Stargell, Lou Brock, Ted Simmons, Joe Torre, Hank Aaron, which I know we got to get to, Bill Madlock, Keith Hernandez, Dick Allen, George Foster, Dave Parker, Darrell Evans, Jack Clark, Andre Dawson, Dale Murphy, Ricky Henderson. Just a small list of guys that are
average players.
Right? These guys are okay. These guys are okay. And then other guys that you faced: Winfield, Al Oliver, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount, Reggie Jackson, Lou Whitaker, Alan Trammell, Carlton Fisk, Harold Baines, George Brett. Pitchers you pitched against: Tommy John, Bob Gibson, Phil Necro, J.R. Richard, Don Sutton, Jerry Kuzman, Tom Seaver, Gaylord Perry, Jack Morris. I mean, I could go on and on and on about
and beat all of them.
Yeah. I mean,
beat all of them.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, it's just. I mean, are you? There's actually a few games that I wanted to just point out really quickly. I wanted to just bring these up and kind of take you down memory lane if I can. April 8th, 1974. It was your first start of the season. I guess your rookie year. You'd pitched a little bit the year before, but your rookie year. Yeah. And who are you facing? You're facing the Reds.
Yep.
And who's on that team? Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, Tony Perez, Johnny Bench. I mean, literally
at the height. That's at the height. That's the Reds, right?
At the height.
At the height.
Yeah. I mean, here you are, a kid. I mean, you're a young guy. I mean, literally, are you just on the mounds, like literally shitting yourself, saying, "Oh my friggin' God, I cannot believe who I'm about to face"?
Well, I knew it was going to be a tough game.
Needless to say, right?
Yeah. I mean, what am I going to say?
Like, how do you prepare for something like that when you're, you've
don't
got your
prepare.
You just go out and do. Okay.
Just keep it out of your head.
Yeah.
And just all you're trying to do is focus here on the catcher's glove.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, either Mike Sadek or Dave Rader were my catchers, and then Kenny Rudolph caught me sometimes in '74. They would walk out and they'd say, "So how you feel today?" And I'd go, "Feel pretty good. So do you want to throw a lot of fastballs, or do you want to throw some breaking stuff?" Well, I'll tell you what, when I want to throw a breaking ball, I'll touch the front and the back of my hat. Yeah. Like I'm adjusting my hat. Okay. And he'd go, "Okay, fine." So Spire would run in. Spire would go, "All right." I didn't listen to that conversation, but I knew there was a sign going on. What's the sign? I said, "Well, I'll touch the front of my hat and the back of my hat for a breaking ball." Okay. He says, "Good, thank you." So go back. That happened every game. They just made sure the glove was in the middle of the plate, because the ball went like this, it darted down, it sunk, it did everything. The guys would come back and say, "Oh my God, my hand is bruised. You're bruising my hand." I said, "Well, put a golf glove on and put some sponge in there." That doesn't work. That's not going to work. And you'd hear the glove pop. And I'm going, "Gee, that kind of got me, Umpire would come out to me, old umpires like Doug Harvey and Tom Gorman, and they'd come out and says, "I'm really having trouble calling balls and strikes on you because I blink when the glove pops." And I said, "Well, you're not supposed to do that.
Stop doing it."
And they said, it's a reflex action. It's like a firecracker going off." I go, "Like that?" So if it sounds like a strike, I'm going to call it. Okay. I go, that's
Sounds like a
Harvey.
strike.
God, it sounds like a strike. I'll call it.
Oh,
I said, get out of here, But those are going on during the games. They would do that to me.
That's
Wow.
hysterical.
So,
That's hysterical. Well, listen, you won the game, which is the most important thing. You started off your season right and ending up having a really great season. 36 starts your rookie year. I mean,
yeah, and 2 relief starts. Talk about abuse.
That's right.
Talk about abuse.
Yeah.
Charlie, we had a knockdown war. Charlie said, go get your work in. He sent me down to the bullpen. And I'd say, okay, second day. Yeah, I guess I can get my work in. I started throwing. He's lifting his hat. And I'm going, yeah, okay, I'm ready. He comes, give me the right hand. I come in, he goes, I want you to hit your Met boys. I want you to hit Grody, and I want you to hit Seaver. I go, okay, no problem. I'll take care of it. Because they were knocking all our guys in, because Seaver, slider, and their butts were hanging in the dugout.
Yeah,
It's like, he had it going on. So I go out there, Grody's leading off, Seaver's next, bing, bang. I get him. That was done. Took care of that. And here comes Grody. And Grody comes up, drilled. Seaver comes up next. I didn't even waste anything. Drilled. That was it. They're on base. I get the outs. We come off. He says, thank you. Job done. You're done for the day.
Oh, wow.
I said, okay, point made, point well taken. That's how we played ball back then.
Yeah.
So what can you do?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Next one. 6/17. So June 17th, same year, 1974, win against Pittsburgh. 9 innings pitched, 8 Ks, and you come up to bat in the 4th inning with Bruce Miller on first base, Larry Demery on the mound, and what happens?
Fastball, first pitch, strike. Next, another fastball. I swing, foul it off, break my bat. Go to the dugout. I don't have another bat. So my roommate, Steve Honoveris, is sitting there. I go, Roomy, can I borrow your bat? He goes, sure, Roomy, go ahead. M110. Oh, this feels pretty good. He's yelling at me, don't break it. And I don't break bats. This is one of the first bats I've broken in a long time. I get up to the plate, 0-2, right? So I go, is Demi going to throw me a curveball or is he going to throw me a fastball? I don't think he's going to throw me a fastball because I'm going to be waiting for it.
Yeah.
If he throws me a curveball, I'll walk to the dugout. What the hell? He wins. So I'm sitting there waiting for the fastball, and I couldn't believe he threw me a fastball. My eyes got like this. Whoa, and I popped that M110 right on the ball and hit a line shot to right center field. And I'm going, oh, it's going to hit the fence. I better hurry. So I'm running around the bags full sprint, and I get to second base, and Joey Amalfitano's on third. He's going like this. Hold up. So I thought they caught the ball. I start making the turn to go back to the dugout. Joe's going, no. You got a home run. I go, no way. He goes, wait. And I come around the bag, and he's giving me 5, and I go there. And so I go to the dugout, and here they are. And, it's like, oh my God. Nobody's saying anything to me. No one. They're like little
they're hazing you.
They're hazing.
Oh
They're
my
all
God.
sitting there. They're all sitting there, not saying anything. And you know, and I go, okay, all right, guys. So you giving me the RF. Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Then they all got up and, you know, congratulated me. But that was a game. And Bing Crosby was there and saw that.
Oh, no kidding.
That's how I got invited to the Pebble Beach clam bake.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was
because Willie couldn't go, so I took his place. It's a true story.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. So you pitch 9 innings there. You hit your only home run, and then what happens? 2 days later, Steve Miller's on the mound. He gets 2 guys out, and then you come in and relieve him, and pitch 8 1/3 innings, beating Bob Gibson, who you also got a single off of.
Yes,
right by his ear. Heck of a 3-day swing right there.
Right, crazy, right?
Right by his ear. Yeah, 8 1/3. Go figure.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. That must have been an incredible moment. I'm here. You are coming off a high, then you get thrown into the game a couple days later, and now you're facing Bob Gibson, and you got to fight against Bob Gibson. I mean, it's like crazy, right?
Oh yeah, he was like he knocked me down, you know, because a curveball got away from me. Sure, curveball got away from me, and it knocked him down. And I said, "Oh God, I'm screwed. I am screwed. He's either going to try to take my head off, or he's going to take my head off. You know, there's no doubt, right?" So I'm up there. Sure enough, I was ready for it. Here comes the ball, and it's right in my face. I don't know how the hell I got out of the way, but I just threw my feet out from underneath myself and fell to the ground. And in my helmet, I got out from underneath so fast, my helmet came off my head, and the ball hit my helmet and cracked it.
Oh my God. Wow.
Cracked it almost in half. And I looked out at him and stared at him. And I went like this. I said, okay, it's on. And that was when I got the hit. Bang! Right back up the middle, right by his ear. And I yelled at him, "Take that, Gibby." That wasn't all. The end of the game was the best part. There's a back elevator at Busch that the players would take to avoid signing autographs, right? And all the guys are saying, "Hey, we're going to go down to the riverfront. We're going to go get a bite to eat, you know, have some fun, blah, 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 blah." And I said, "Okay, fine." So I get on the elevator. It's dark, no lights, nothing. I walk in, and I had my head down, and I hit the button, and I turn, and I go, "Gibby?" He goes, "F you." And I went, "Oh, well, same to you." He goes, "Well, F you again." And I go, "Well, this isn't going to be a nice meeting, is it? F you again, 3 times. So I said, "Look, man," I went up to him. I said, "Look, man, nobody talks to me. I might be a kid, but I deserve some respect. I beat your ass. You got to give me." He grabs my finger. I grab his arm. I grab his other arm. We start wrestling. We go down on the ground. We're wrestling. I got both his arms. I got him locked, man. I know I got him locked. And we're wrestling around. And we hit the door of the elevator. The door opens and we fall out. It couldn't have been slapstick comedy better. We fall out and there's all my teammates. They all rush in. They separate us. They go, "Geez, guys." And he goes, "I'll get you next start. I'll get you. We're going to meet again. And I promise you, I'll beat you, you know, and all this." I go, "Yeah, I'm waiting for you. I'll be there." Sure enough, we locked up again in San Francisco. Yeah. And I had a 1-0 lead into the 9th and lost it 2-1.
Wow.
Errors again. Errors.
That's a good story. Wow.
That is fantastic. One of
and I got knocked down a few times too.
74 must have just been your year, because August 4th, 1974, 8th inning, you're pitching in Atlanta or to Atlanta. Score's tied 2-2, and who comes off the bench to pinch hit? Could it be the all-time home run leader? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean Henry?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he comes off the bench, and I'm going, oh my God. Chris Spire comes up and he says, so what are you going to throw him? I said, that's a stupid question. I'm going to throw him my fastballs. I mean, come on, I got 100 plus. What are you talking about? He goes, good luck. I said, good luck? That's all you're going to tell me? He says, yeah, good luck. I said, go back to your position. Go play. First pitch I throw on the black, strike. Tom Gorman is the umpire. Tom Gorman, old veteran umpire, great guy, Irishman, with a brogue. Next pitch, right down the middle of the plate, the ball goes like this. Rose. Hank swung right through it. He was already clocking me already. And I go, whoa. Could feel the wind, And I'm going, oh man, what am I going to do now? So I step off the mound and go back, and I said, I got to throw this outside, throw it away from his power. That's what Marichal told me to do. Keep it away from him. Yeah. So I threw a blazing fastball right on the black, and Gorman goes like this and puts his arm down. He goes, ball. And he looked at me like, you going to say something, kid? You're the rookie. This is the home run king. No. I said, okay. So I said, okay, no options left. Go with my best pitch with Hank's best stuff. So I get the old four-seamer going, straight over the top. Pew! Ball rises. He swung right through it and missed it by about that much.
Oh my God.
Struck him out. He takes his helmet off and tips it to me. And he yells at me, welcome to the big leagues, rookie. And I went, dang, that's Hank Aaron. Holy cow. I was like floating off the mound, Jeez. And then the next day I talked to Hank. I go out and this is what struck up our friendship, for crying out loud. Hank and I became good friends after this. I said, Henry, I just want to say it was a real enjoyment to face you. As a kid, I was collecting cards of you, and I idolize you. I think you're great. He goes, I'm never going to face you again. And I said, why is that? He says, I can't hit you. And I said, seriously? Come on. He goes, seriously.
Wow.
And I didn't face him again.
Wow.
Every time they came into town and I was pitching, no Hank Aaron in the lineup. It was Mike Lum.
That is crazy. That's crazy to think about.
You check all the box scores, you won't see him again.
Oh,
of course, then he left the next year, so I didn't face him anyway, except in spring training.
Right.
When he was with Milwaukee. Yeah.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Crazy stuff.
Unbelievable.
And that's why I wrote the book. So now you know.
Yeah. Now,
rare stories, rare things that happened to me in my career. Is like, that's why I call myself, Walter Mitty, or, you try everything. But my career was very similar to, all the top players that I played against and touched. Yeah. 13 Hall of Famers. My God, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
14 now. 14 with Simmons going.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. What are your relationships with some of these guys nowadays? I mean, I've always wondered what life is like after baseball. I mean, is there still that camaraderie between old teammates and old foes, things like that?
Oh yeah, since I've been doing the tributes for players that pass away, the guys call me all the time and we reminisce about our teammates and stuff, how you're doing, and thank you for doing that for a friend of mine, who he played with, or I get a lot of calls from their wives that want the pictures, and so I send them the pictures so they can have them. It's been something that I took upon myself to do, because when baseball players pass, not much is said about them.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, look at Seaver. Seaver passed away and not much was said at all.
Not really.
You know?
Not really.
And Phil, you could appreciate this, you know, it's like I did a nice tribute for him, nice write-up, and man, it had almost 800 hits on it, you know, from people that appreciate it. And that's what they said.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention about what Tom's career was like. And, you know, and the collages are done with every baseball card at every level that they play.
That's amazing.
You know, so it gives you a background of, you know, what they went through. You know,
that's incredible that you do that. Yeah, no, you're right. There isn't as much. And listen, we talk about this on our podcast all the time. I mean, baseball has, unfortunately for us as the biggest fans of baseball, it has fallen into the third most popular sport in, you know, the United States at this point, for some of its own doing and some of its kids not playing the game as much as they used to. And there's a lot of factors, inner city not being as into baseball, right? So there's a million factors. I'm sure you know them better than me, but what do you think in terms, as we sit here and now they did make an agreement, a lot of fighting, what do you think of the status of the game today, right? Like, do you think it has a chance to get back to maybe what it once was? Do you think it's just a different world that we're in now? What are your thoughts on the game today?
Well, first of all, I think baseball is trying to put Ted Williams back together again, if you know what I'm trying to say. Think about it. I have experienced mostly every change that has occurred in Major League Baseball to the present, from 70 with the raising of the mound, the lowering of the mound, TV, all the big TV games started coming in. Now I work for MLB. Pitch clock, auto balls and strikes is coming. You know, there are changes that I've seen happen. First of all, I'm a purist. I bet you are too, Phil. You a purist?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've had to warm up to the idea of the DH. That's killing me. It's killing me.
I know.
It's killing me.
It
saved me. I don't hate it as much because I've said to myself, pitchers don't want to hit anymore. So what I've sold myself on is the idea nobody could bunt, nobody could do anything, so I got to walk away from it. You know, and it's like I gotta just accept that.
I just gotta accept it, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Accept it. It's here. Okay.
The game is it's so different now. When you talk about purists and the purity of the game, you know, it's just, you know, when I first started, you know, I'm going to be 49 next month, and so I really started getting into baseball right around 1980. And you know, it was just, I remember the feel of the game, and it was just such a different game. Even going to the ballpark back then versus going to the ballpark now, it's almost like you don't recognize it, because it's just, it's so different. And I'd love to see
the interaction is gone.
It really is. It really is. It really is. Okay. And, you know, and it's almost like the love of the game has left and the business has taken over. And I want to see those guys like a guy like Mike Trout, that, you know, just loves the game.
Oh yeah, and loves, you know, and loves the kids, and loves the kids
like
too.
That's what I want to see. I want to see those players that you know that aren't taking it for granted, that are just so privileged and excited to be there, and realize, hey, you know what? I'm a role model. What I do actually matters. That's kind of what I want to see nowadays. And back when you were playing, that was the mentality. You guys didn't just take this for granted. I mean, it was hard work, and it was, you know, it was a lot of care and because of how you felt about the game. And that's something that I think is missing, that passion for the game that I want to see come back.
And there is no passion. Some guys have it. I'm not going to say that it's not all gone.
Right.
There's some guys that really play hard, and they love the game and the passion that they have, and you can see it in how they play. Also, as they say, the cream comes to the top at the end of the year, when you have the best teams coming to the field to play in the World Series and the playoffs. you see that passion elevate to the next level. But that passion should be in the game every single day from the get-go, from day one. I think a lot of it has to do with the way they've restricted the players from interacting with the fans. That was something I took pride in. When I would walk down to the bullpen in San Diego, I would sign autographs from the end of the third base dugout all the way down to the bullpen, and before the game would start. And I'd do that with Raleigh Fingers, and Raleigh and I would do it together. And it was a good thing to interact with the fans, and and they liked it. They didn't like it; they loved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
And Shea Stadium was my favorite because I really got to interact with the New York kids. Hey, sign my freaking ball. And I would give them a hard time. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll sign your freaking ball. Yeah, sure.
Absolutely hysterical. Well, John, this has been fantastic. I know we've kept you for longer than the time, but I just wanted to remind everybody, about your book, and I hope that people will go out there and get it and read it, because that is the next book that I'm going to read. I don't know.
I think you can see it. Can you see it?
No,
you got to almost put it right in front of your face.
Right in front of your yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, we almost had it. We almost had it. There it is, right there. Fastball John. Fastball John.
There it is.
I cannot wait to read it and to get even more of these stories. And you want to just tell us about your drawings?
Yeah, sure. As they say, practice makes perfect. I try to do a drawing a day.
Yeah.
And I use different mediums. I like the digital stuff because it's easy to do, and that's why I can get them out in a day.
Yeah.
Because if you make a mistake, you don't have to crumble the paper up and throw it away and start over, So you can actually do the same process, but without art paper.
Yep.
And the colors that they give you are fantastic to work with. All kinds of different shades, and the quality is like really, really good.
Yep.
And so I got into this as a hobby.
Yep.
Just doing something for the fun, just for relaxation. And so I've been doing it since 2015. I actually started in 1996.
Okay.
And I started taking some classes and getting involved in pencil sketches at first. And then I started getting coached by Gene Locklear, who played ball also, and another gentleman by the name of Christopher Peluso in San Diego, who really gave me some good advice and some tips on my artwork and to make it look more professional. And so having those two give me the tips really kind of sprung me loose. And then I get picked up by MLB and MLBPA, the Players Association, AA, the Alumni Association. I'm now a licensed vendor for both. And, it's like, I do certain pictures. I'm looking at a picture right now of a friend of mine, Keith Hernandez, who's going to get his number retired this year. And then Nolan Ryan's on the other side. I did this it's about this big. It's a pretty cool picture. And I sent that to Keith, and he goes, "You did this?" He goes, "Dang, yeah, I like this." I go, "Well, that's why I sent it to you, because I thought you might." But, it's like I've been contracted by WinStar for Justify through out of New York. So I have an agent. I'm being sought to be put in a gallery here in Scottsdale.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. I have another friend of mine who was the basic.
We're gonna make this our new theme song.
Yeah, I know. He was Dennis Dubois. He was a photographer for the Giants.
Yep.
Well, he's an artist also, and he's here in Scottsdale. And so we collaborate together on a lot of things, a lot of different things. And he's helped me tremendously as a mentor. He's good with color shades and, getting the colors right. And so I've got a lot of people cheering for me to get into this. And finally, it just took off. It took off. And, it's now I had to file a freaking tax return, for crying out loud. My wife does tax. My wife does taxes, so I don't have to go far.
Oh, that's great. No,
that's fantastic. I've seen some of the drawings. They are absolutely fantastic. You are super talented, and anybody that has not seen them, make sure that you go and check them out, because they are absolutely fantastic. And maybe
just look for artwork by John D'Acquisto, and you'll find it. It'll pop up. Yep.
Perfect. That's perfect. Awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, John, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Darren.
Appreciate the time. We really enjoyed it. I love talking to you, and with any luck, you enjoyed yourself, and maybe you'll join us again one of these days, and we can continue this conversation. Because, like I told you before,
absolutely. Because there's a hell of a lot more.
I can't wait. I can't wait to talk more about it.
We just touched a quarter of it.
I know. There's so much more to talk about. So really, really great stuff. So I really appreciate that. And thanks so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. I had fun talking with you guys. It was fun reminiscing and getting back into the old game. And it's refreshing to know you guys are out there and that you love the game just as much as we do.
Yep.
And that's what makes it so special.
Yeah, we're those people that appreciate anybody playing in the major leagues, because that means that you're the best of the best. And when you got two baseball nuts like Phil and I, they've been our entire lives. I mean, we've obviously never even had the chance to be remotely near there. So the what it takes to get to that level of play is appreciated. I don't care if you played one game or you played 2,000 games. It doesn't make a difference. If you made it, you made it, and that's something to celebrate. So really appreciate those stories. Yeah.
One day, the recent pitcher, and now I'll let you guys go. The recent pitcher I did on Al Autry. If you don't know this story, he pitched in one game. He won the game, and that was it. He was done. Robin Yount's brother, Larry Yount, goes in to pitch his first start of his major league career, throws one warm-up pitch, blows his arm out, never to see it again.
Wow.
But got to the big leagues.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
And so, and you and I talked about this when we had conversation at first. Yeah. And I said, everybody belongs in the Hall of Fame that made it to the big leagues. Because you got to the big leagues, and that's what's the most important thing.
That's right.
Not because you were great, but because you got there.
You got
that's
there.
Right.
And there's a big separation of that.
Yeah, I agree.
And all 100%. The other guys that got there get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
This was our pleasure. It was great to just get to hear so many great stories. Your incredible, your memory to recall these specific details is incredible too. So I get a kick out of it.
Not bad for an old man. Huh?
Hey, it's incredible. It's incredible, John. Well, we wish you the best with the book, the best with the paintings, the best with the artwork. We definitely do. We'd love to have you on again, as we said, but thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate
Absolutely. It'll be my pleasure to come back on. Absolutely.
All right, John. Well, thanks so much again.
All right, guys.
Be well.
Love you. Take care.
All right, you too. Enjoy the season.
Finally. Yeah, definitely. I'm going back to work next week.
There we go. Perfect.
Here we go.
Take care, John.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks, John. Bye-bye.
All right.